Okay, hello and welcome to another in a series of our Fireside chats for NodeConf EU. I'm Katie Roberts and I'm here with James Snell from NearForm. Hello, James.
Hello, how's it going?
It's good to be talking with you today, and I was wondering if you could start by just telling us a little bit about yourself.
So James Snell, I'm J.A. Snell pretty much everywhere else, Twitter, GitHub, everything.
Yeah.
I am the head of research at NearForm. I'm also a core contributor to Node on the technical steering committee, and been involved with that project for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
So it's that's me.
So you mentioned there about the NearForm Research. What exactly is that?
NearForm Research is a new group that we just started within NearForm to really start formalizing a lot of the leading edge open source work that we do.
Yeah.
So NearForm has always kind of just pushed the envelope on going out there, contributing to the community, doing really leading edge stuff, but it's never really been formalized. We've never really had any tracking or, how do we keep tabs on what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So we decided to actually put some structure around that.
Okay.
And really, start to figure out not only, yes, we're doing cool stuff, but why are we doing it?
So, and you're documenting this as you go?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One of the key things that we're doing is it's research, but it's not just for NearForm. It's not for our own benefit. It's research for the entire ecosystem. We're focusing on developing technologies that benefit the entire community, that NearForm exists within. Right? So if it's good for the community, it's going to be good for NearForm in the end. So we really want to focus that, and we also want to focus on really driving sustainable contribution to open source, all that kind of stuff. In order to do that, it can't just be NearForm.
Yeah.
So we have to try to help other companies get there as well. So we kind of really want to serve as a model for other companies on how they contribute to open source, how they're contributing to the overall ecosystem in order to make it more sustainable.
And companies are able to start accessing this now?
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely work with with any company that wants to do this. We kind of help them through. We're excited to work with other companies on this. Like I said, it's not just about NearForm; it's about the entire ecosystem.
Yeah, it's if people aren't giving to the community, it's not going to do anything. So.
Right. The thing that I've kind of thought about, if you think about the amount of value that companies get out of open source, right? How much of that value is actually making its way back to the maintainers or to the original authors, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very little. One of the key things that we want to do with NearForm Research is figure that out. Like, we want to figure out how to make sure we're giving back to the community, but also giving back to the maintainers, all those kind of things. So it's a different take on research, but it's a lot of fun.
It's very interesting, exciting as well. So something else that you here at NodeConf EU was to talk about QUIC. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
QUIC is fun. It's one of the research projects we have going on. We're basically implementing the QUIC protocol and HTTP3 for Node itself. So QUIC is being developed by the IETF right now. There's all kinds of folks that are working on implementations on different platforms, that kind of thing. Yeah. We're making it available in Node, just so developers have it to play with. There's a ton of unanswered questions about it, right? Like what are the real benefits going to be out of using it? Well, until it's available to use, we can't actually answer that question. So that's what we're doing. We're making it available for people to start playing around with.
So when do you think it's going to land?
Experimental, I'm hoping that the PR will get in by the end of this month. So just a few more weeks and we'll have that in. It's going to be experimental in Node probably for at least a year, right? Before we really recommend people using it in production. I would say it's going to be in a usable state hopefully by the end of the year.
Okay, but
so just
it's
like 2 months.
Christmas
It's coming
present
soon.
to us.
Yeah, definitely Christmas present.
So if people want to get involved with the QUIC project, what can they do?
So we have a repo. Basically what we did is we created a fork of the main Node repo.
Yeah.
They would go on GitHub, the Node.js organization, go to the QUIC repository. We're doing all the code out in the open. There's documentation that needs to be written, examples, there's tests, there's all that kind of stuff. But there's just playing around with it, right? Using it and getting us feedback on what works, what doesn't, feature requests for the API and that kind of thing. One of the other really important things we're going to need, though, is we don't, already in Node we have an HTTP API, there's an HTTP2 API. We don't want to just keep adding, right? so we need to find ways of starting to consolidate the APIs that allow us to work with each version of the protocol and allow us to take advantage of the features of each without it becoming too bloated or too generic and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of work there that still needs to get done in terms of just usability.
So there's plenty of opportunity.
There's lots of opportunity, and I'd love to have more people come help. So.
What happens in those?
So the Codelearn session is an opportunity for those of us that are really active in open source, particularly in the Node project, to help the attendees, most of the attendees actually open their very first pull request in open source at all, right? Most of the people that are there, that attend them, this is in every session we have never even contributed to any open source project at all.
Yeah.
Right? So we take them through the process of, getting them familiar with Node, getting them familiar with, how to build it, how to identify an issue that needs to be, fixed or some change that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And we usually start really, really small, like change 1 or 2 lines of code, and then open their first pull request.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun when somebody's like, hey, I've never done this before, and now I'm contributing to one of the most successful and one of the most active projects, on GitHub. And it's just, there's a level of excitement in their face that is just, it's amazing.
I can testify to this because I did my first pull request 2 years ago.
Nice.
I fixed some test, and I am now part of the Node 10 release as a result of that. It's a really excellent thing to do, and as a result of that, you can then, it's not just beneficial to the Node project, it's beneficial to me as a developer, but also to my development teams, because now they have that understanding of how open source works, because I've been taking that to them as well.
Yeah, and when we just did it yesterday, the other pull requests, we usually start small because we don't want to get people lost in the details of what change they're making. And there was a comment, that one of the attendees yesterday said, well, I opened my first pull request, it's not an important change, and I was like, no, all these changes are important. All the contributions are important. It doesn't matter how small of a change it is. Yeah. If it's going towards making that code base better, right? Then that change is just as important as adding a whole new feature to Node, right? It's just as important, but slightly smaller, but no less important.
Yeah, and it's that sort of idea that many hands make light work sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's it might not feel like much, but if everybody ignored doing the small jobs, they would never get done.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good.
Thanks. There you go.
That'll be enough.